Here is the template for the magazine spread and title for the title variations. What I've done is I've created a document that has 6 pages. If you want to do more than 6, it's totally fine. What you can do is over here under properties, you can change this to as many pages as you need. And so it'll add more and more pages. What you're going to do is you're going to put one title per spread. So it can be the same title. It could be variations of the title. It's totally fine with how you're going to word it. But what you should have on here is they should be different. So what we're looking for is something that is visually appealing. So it could be something where it's just large text. It could be text that is in separate boxes that's different sizes. It could be incorporating a graphic that's on there. So if you want to do something in Photoshop and bring it over, let me know. I can help you with that. Or if you want to do something in Illustrator and bring it over, let me know. I can help you with that as well. But you can see here, having the title interacting with the photo is visually appealing. It's much more interesting to look at. Same thing here. Doing the thing with noodles. That's an interesting layout. Let me show you some from the magazine. Things like this. So the font itself isn't anything super fancy, but the way that they've stacked and organized it and then incorporated this little nut graph, so like the main thesis of what the article is going to be about, makes it interesting, and having it kind of hidden behind the photo to mask that part out, really interesting. Could be a combination of playing around with the different sizes and the different color. This color was pulled directly from the photo, so that can be useful. Doing stuff like this, where you're incorporating even just little graphics, like little thin lines and stuff. That's another way to be able to do it. So there's a lot of different ways to be able to make it a little bit more visually interesting. I kind of like how they interlaid the text here to where that one's above, but that one's below. So it creates kind of a 3D type of effect. And even doing something that's got a really fancy decorative font. So you may consider finding a font that's going to be unique to yours as opposed to one of the pre-installed fonts, just to make it a little bit more visually interesting. And then definitely play around with color. But once you get the photo and stuff in there, you might actually use the eyedropper to start pulling up some color potentially from the photo itself. You can kind of see specialized kinds of effects. Some of it's dealing with a specialized font, but then playing around with the contrast of size as well as style. So that's what you're going to be working on. So inside of your InDesign document, you're going to create and type in the text boxes. I want to show you one quick trick / tip when you're working with this. So as you create your text frame, so I'm just going to do something like fashion, and you've changed the font and stuff. I want to show you again, the way that this frame is set up, you have to drag to create the frame first. It's not like Illustrator where you can just click once. You have to actually, everything has to be in a frame. Then if you double click when it's a diagonal arrow, it'll shrink the frame. Now the thing that you're used to doing to change size on this is just holding down the shift key. But watch what happens when I do just the shift. What it's doing is it's scaling just the frame and not the text inside. So InDesign's a little quirky, a little bit different than what we've done. You're going to press Control and Shift, or Command and Shift if you're on a Mac, and that will allow you to change the size. Now don't forget, you can go in, and I definitely recommend, because not all the fonts are going to be kerned properly, you can go in between letters using the Alt key, and you can adjust it. Now, I'm in Cameo, so sometimes it does this. I hate how it does this. It's not recognizing the keyboard shortcut. So what you can do is down here under Character, you can decrease or increase the amount of space. So when you are setting up your variations for this, I highly recommend take a look at your bigger words and check to see if the kerning, if there's too many gaps, if it looks uneven, if it's too much space or not enough space. You can play around with it to be able to make that look a little bit better. So do at least 6 different variations. You can always go in and make more pages if you need to, But that is what you're going to work on. Now, when you turn this in, you're not going to do a screencast. I'm actually going to collect your PDFs for this. So save the file as a normal InDesign file, but then go to save as, or actually, I take that back, go to export. And what you're going to do from here is it will automatically default to a PDF file. So you'll export it as a PDF, and you'll give me that PDF file, not the InDesign file, but the PDF file. And that is what you'll submit by midnight on Friday.